Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to Momentum Trades weekly market prep with Mr. M. We're back again, getting ready for the week ahead. So as usual, what we do, we go through happening the next week. We look at some charts on some major indexes to see where they're going, and finally we'll take on some momentum plays that may actually develop first thing tomorrow morning. And then what we're going to do is also look at the potential setups that are worth paying attention to. And if you have any requests, like I said, just put them in the chat. Put them in the chat, and I'll address them. But I think we have our major announcement from the last week behind us in terms of announcement of raising of the interest rates. Okay. I think they came in within expectations, which the interest rate was raised by 25%. Now there was a key discussion or conference following the announcement with Powell, and he was asked, what's happening next. I think the expectation currently is that that the rate was going to be raised by quarter basis points on Wednesday, which it happened, right? So that was what was expected. Now, I think the following expectations for the remaining of the year, that the 5.5% is going to remain where it is without any future hikes. Okay, so and then starting next year, that the interest rates are going to start falling, right? They're going to be cutting those interest rates. Well, that's the expectation, and that's why the conference with the Powell was very important, because when he was asked what they are prepared to do, he said, I don't know whether I'm going to raise them or I'm going to cut them. We're just going to do what we need to do in order to bring us back to the 2% and to the 2% inflation level. So that's where we are. So in case of there are future expectations that the interest rates are going to be raised, that's going to throw in some volatility into the market, and we need to be wary of that. But now you get a full context of what it is that we're seeing. So what in terms of economic events that we have coming up next week are I think we get initial jobless claims here. We've got on Thursday. And unemployment rate. I think unemployment rate, we're looking to stay flat. In terms of the forecast, non-payroll, looking for a decrease, a slight decrease as well. And increase forecast for the initial jobless claims is to slightly higher than the previous one. So I think that's the key 2 days that we need to be looking for, Thursday and Friday. So we should have relatively easy first 3 days of trading. Okay. Moving on to upcoming earnings. As you can see, we've got a pretty busy week ahead of us. I'm just going to be making notes of what charts I want to take a look at here to get ourselves ready. Okay, so Monday. What have we got here? SoFi. It's financials. Zoom. That's Zoom info, so that's not the right Zoom. Okay. AMD, we've got AMD on Tuesday after close. And we've got Uber before open. Got Pfizer. Oh, Caterpillar, that's the one you mentioned.
Yes, they benefited from the stimulus too, and by billions of dollars.
Okay, we'll take a look at the Merck as well. SPWR, well, I need to look at the overall solar sector, see how they're doing. But then, so that's the pre-market, so pretty busy there. We've got an after close on Tuesday. Like I said, the AMD, we've got pins. Okay, we've got Starbucks. Elf. Okay, yeah. Elf is a beauty brand, so okay, Wednesday, CVS. Okay, PayPal, Shopify, Qualcomm, Oxy, right. Some big hitters here. Oh, wow. Okay. Wednesday's looking interesting here. Well, I'm not going to be able to get all this charts today, but and then on Thursday we got another big day here. Wow. Okay, Amazon, Apple, Coinbase, Square, Airbnb, DraftKings, Moderna. Well, okay. Then we've got Fubo, Nikola, Visca. Wow, there's a lot. I'm gonna have to do a separate analysis on the earnings report because this is just a lot to look at here. I think first let's take the big hitters here. Yeah, let's look at the Caterpillar. Well, we'll go through some of them. But first, as usual, let's look at what we can expect from the first on the pre-market. What can we be expecting here? Pre-market runners. Let's look at a Foxo. So what did he do? Notice of an exempt offering caused this spike. Okay, merger and acquisition. What was that? Bigger time frame here. Yeah, I think from the momentum side of things, I'm looking at the Foxo here. Definitely above 20, 30. Let's see, get an earlier entry here. Yeah, it needs to break that 20, and then we've got another resistance here, 20 or 20 to just so space here. Okay. CHNR shares skyrocketed after code to sell precise space-time technology. CHNR. Okay. Okay. Looking at 360 break on CHNR. Anything else worth paying attention to? NA. NA announces receipt of interest-free loans from shareholders. What's the volume on that? 114,000 shares. I don't want that. Okay, so that's pretty much bio. Kind of gained like 7%. A lot of volume. Had a good day though. And just also had a split. Yeah, not touching that. Okay, well I think that's Foxo and CHNR. That's the two momentum plays that I see here happening for tomorrow pre-market. So if you're early, if you like to get up early and play, then okay. Let's jump into major indexes here to see the state of the yeah. By the way, if you're on Discord, then as you know, in the Momentum Weekly Watch, there's a full report that you can go through and read. It's very Weekly Watch. I'm sorry, very comprehensive. But what we've seen here so far, we've defended that level of on the SPY here at 4526. Okay, and we bounced off on some positive volume. There we go. So that's the analysis here. What can we see? On SPY. Well, when it loads. So this looks positive for continuation. I think we need to come and test that level here. Well, 4609. Let's go into the 459.55. We need to test that level here in order to defend it. Otherwise, we may be ranging in that day here. And I think based on the earnings that we've seen, this is what might happen, right? Because if you take into account how much weight, for example, well, you get AMD, you have AMD, Apple, in S&P 500, then this is going to be significant for Thursday, especially of where the market is going to go. Yeah, let's go to IWM for small caps. Yeah, we've got a 200 here around resistance level. Similar story with the SPY, although we have a expanding range here, as you can see here. But if we can get the break above there, that is something in terms of pretty positive news. That's the key level here as well. So literally right bang on the 2000. Also formed cap and handle here. Okay, Qs. I think Q's going to have an interesting week. Yeah, right. We got about this key level here of this, and we still sort of went all the way up, and now we came back to test this as support, and we found that support here almost, not exactly touching that 20-day line, but close enough. And now we're trying to break above this trend line here. So I think again, above Thursday high, above 385, the calls can work for potential move towards that 388 test. And then I think if we have positive earnings report from the tech companies next week, then this is going to push. If not, then we'll most likely see pretty big decline to 20-day line here, or that long-term average. Okay, I think that picture should be clear that this can then continue sort of ranging like so, or like this. Time will tell. Okay, VIX. Yeah, VIX had a good day on Thursday. There's a lot of volatility there, as you can see here. It's still ranging between those 2 lines, but we now establish that support level here around 1271. So yeah, let's okay, so that's on the major indexes. So I'm pretty, it's pretty neutral, I would say. Again, I think a lot of um things are going to be determined by, I think, Wednesday, especially after close, Wednesday and Thursday after close. These are the 2 big days that I want to, wait and see what's going to happen. All right, well, let's look at some swings here, potentially.
Buy the VIX.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you buying the VIX?
Long term. Well, it's, whenever it goes that low, it's not a bad time to for long term look at the upside. But it could stay down for a long time. Just depends on what's going on, of course, in the world, and what could bring it up. But quite a few different world events that could bring it up.
Yeah. All right, what I did want to take a look at
I
is,
know you've always said when it's down, yeah.
want to look at the Palantir here because we've
Palantir.
there we go. Had a beautiful volume, expanding volume
Done well
here.
this week on that.
Yeah, and I think I did a little bit more research. I know I said on the past I'm not going to be trading Palantir anymore, but I think I'm slowly coming around. I think it's underappreciated from the standpoint of
Yes.
what role they are going to play in terms of the AI, right? We see all the other stocks moving in relation to AI, like AI stock, right? A C3I, I guess that's the play. But I think this one is extended,
Right.
and I think Palantir is, they've had a consistent road. I think they've got an RS of 99. They've been growing the sales over the last 2 years, and the last 2 quarters they've had excellent, I think, like 150 and 100% growth in EPS. So based on that pullback here to 20, which
Yes.
was an excellent entry here, we get into that one. I think it's coming close to our cutoff point, yeah, for entry. But any pullbacks here to the 5% above the pivot level, or you can wait for the consolidation and coming here to testing that 19. But as you saw from my alert, I'm looking at this for the midterm play. Midterm, 3 to 6 months. It can become a longer term play as well, right? Because I think they're going to play a significant part overall. So, if not, then we're looking here for the run towards 23. And then, 29 here as well. And we'll get this nice base that it's breaking from. There we go. So that's my assessment of Palantir, where I see this going. Okay. Next one is NIO. Okay, and NIO also looking pretty good here. Had this nice cap and handle breakout. Now it's moving above this key pivot level on excellent volume here as well. So I'm really liking that as well. And I think someone asked me about Pentair. I mean, I don't know if someone remembers that we played Pentair when it was breaking out of after these earnings here, right? And I don't know if you recall, but I told you that this is solid growth company, not growth company in terms of how price appreciates. They've paid dividends, I think, for the last 50 years without a fail, and increasing their earnings per share. They've got I think, around 10% return, or increase in sales, and I think, um, pretty they're pretty solid company in terms of, if you want to invest, also get dividends, and they've been all the way up here last August, at $81, right? Obviously they had a downturn a bit, but now they're coming back up with strength. So I see this as a good sort of midterm play as well. Now let's look at AMD before earnings. Yeah, I think a bit choppy here. Then I've got 93 RS, but it's falling. The RS is falling. Well, this is what I'm seeing here. The RS is falling when the SPY is going up. So that's not a good sign to me. The EPS here is dropping significantly over the last 3 quarters, and they had a negative revenue the last quarter. So I just don't like that as well. So, and they're also losing strength here, right? So, and this is what I'm talking about. Normally very well performing companies, when you have, this, SPY going up, you want RS for the stock to outperform. You could say they've got a flag building here. This is on a weekly, but I don't know. I think the proper buy point here would be either here above 120, or here above 134. But for now, I'm neutral on this one. Amazon, yeah, Amazon also coming up. Amazon looking here much better. They just had a pullback here to that 20-day line, and then just kind of moving. So green above red here. You can see a run up here towards that 137, and then we also had a Prime Day recently, which may have a positive impact on their sales. They did report 182% gain in terms of the EPS last report, and 9% sales. As you remember, after their last report, they due to the guidance of the AWS, which is the crown jewel in the portfolio, they took a hit, and we saw the pullback, but that was regained, and it just continued. And I think, if you remember, when we were analyzing Amazon here before we broke that 200-day line, this was our entry here around 100 something. So, I'd say so far it's done well, and I like this flag much better than I liked the AMD. So yeah, I'll be watching Amazon closely. But yeah, above buy point here of 133. Look at Uber. Oh yeah, Uber's looking good here. Yeah, Uber 97 RS. And this nice tight consolidation here, pull back to 20. And this was the entirety consolidation here. Now we going up again. Really like Uber here. I think, and risk reward here is also nice. And if you took that down to 20-day line, it's only 5% risk here. Only here 6% risk. Yeah, Uber looks good, guys. Okay, let's look at the Caterpillar. Oh yeah, it's also looking good here. Nice flag.
Matt, Uber's earnings are on Tuesday, I
And
think.
Tuesday, yeah, Tuesday we should open.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, so Caterpillar looks great. It's coming up to
Yes.
that pivot, like past that weekly. I think we may need a handle here, a bit longer handle. This looks like a cap and handle. See, when you look at this cap and handle here, right? You see that handle has more weeks. This is a weekly chart,
Yeah.
and and over here, I'd like to, like at the moment, this is just a cup, right, without a
Right.
handle. So normally we'd like to see probably like 5 weeks for handle with no more than, of around 5-6% pullback, or how the handle is created. So again, yeah, they've got a Tuesday before, after close, I think, right, or before open. So we'll see. I think if they've got a solid performance here. But RS of 92. Okay, so they're pretty solid in terms of EPS and sales. I'll add it to the watch list, Tony.
Good deal.
Okay. Apple and Coinbase. Well, we've been in Apple now for a while now, so again, it's a great long-term buy and hold stock, Not sure how much I can say this here, but we've been in that sort of from, I think, here, and it's just grinding up. So Square, it's Square as they report as well on Thursday after close. Okay, all right, okay. 81, yeah. And that buy point here is above 89. Then we got 81 RS. Last quarter they had 122% gain in EPS. I think this might be a cheat entry here on that break of this 80-50. It's can give us a bit of a cushion here. Yeah. Yeah, last 3 quarters they grew sales quite substantially. Last was by 26%, and their forecast is looking, estimated 40% next year for the EPS growth. So it's looking positive, and it's also breaking out here while forming a base. So okay, Airbnb also reports on Thursday after close, and they just going, aren't they? Yeah, Airbnb is looking very solid here. I think any pullbacks to 20-day lines here are really good opportunity, guys. I think look, we're coming out of bottom right here, and I think stage 1 breakout, so consolidation here. They look very, very solid. Yeah, 91 RS. Whoa, last two EPS boards were 500% and then 700%, and revenue growth, or in terms of sales, up 24% and 20%, and they have good forecast as well. So yeah. All right, what time is it? Look at some. AAON, someone asking the chat. Tony, was that you? What was the question with regards to? Oh no. Oh wait.
I think it was somebody else on AON, but I'm holding it. But
Hi. Yeah, we have been swinging it, so just wanted to check the status.
there we go.
Yeah. What did you want to? What was your question with regards to it?
Oasis, what was your question?
Sorry, just the status on the swing, like how we are looking. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's looking as if we've got a sort of cap here, and on the bigger time frame, we've got a cap here, and now a handle. And if you can see here, when you look at the weeks, then this is the weekly chart. We broke out. I think we getting into that. That was 103.70. So that was here. So for now, it looks pretty good. I think in terms of, you can see the growth here. Just take into account they also report on Thursday after market close. So, well, ideally, what I would like to see is come up to what we're coming up to here to test these highs. Okay, we need to see volume coming in. They also have split 3-2, so I think they're going to increase in price. So overall, they're looking pretty good. But earnings are always a gamble. And let me look at the financials. Anything has changed? No. Yeah, still looking good here. Got a cap and handle here. 3% from pivot. So if anyone still not in, it's time to get in here before it goes. And then we've got a lift. I think we've exited lift now. Because it hit, I think, our 3 PTs, and then it exited. I think lift is going to be also guided by they've got Tuesday next week, but they're also going to be guided by what Uber does. So watch for the price action here on Tuesday with Uber earnings and lift, right? It's a tight consolidation here, guys, but I think they are worst off in terms of how they're performing. They do have a good forecast for next year, but RS is only at 38. So approach with caution because the times of the move cleanliness, how clean the move's going to be. I think it's going to be more choppiness on that one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Main Street. What's that, Tony? What are you seeing or hearing? Tony? Yeah,
Sorry, I missed that. I stepped out for a second. What did you ask? Oh, Maine.
Yeah, what are you seeing there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's looking pretty good, I think, for a short-term swing. Let me take a look at my chart and what I saw.
It's got a good dividend yield,
Mm-hmm.
like 6.5%.
And RS isn't real strong, but the volume's looking pretty good.
Yeah, they've got
Yeah,
they report in 4 days. So on
EPS was
Thursday,
90. Yeah,
EPS, yeah, they grew the EPS nicely over the last several quarters.
I think it's one to watch maybe.
Yeah, I think, yeah, once we get above this pivot here,
Mm-hmm.
also above 43, that's the buy point here. So
Yeah.
I'll set.
Okay. Thank you.
RS is at, yeah, 57. It's got a negative forecast of minus 4% for next year. So the only thing that I'm watching here, Marvel.
I think we could be looking at another run up with Marvel.
Yeah. Yes, we can. Yeah, I think 67.30.
Good breakout point.
Yeah, volume is drying up, so
That's true. It is a little bit there.
no much selling. There was, bounce of that 8-day line. Yeah, yeah, I like it. Just
Got to get it up there.
yeah, let's see breaking that 67 here. Take a look at ELF. Yeah, ELF was blimey. Nice. It's 99, huge EPS, 2 days. Yeah, I think actually ELF here. ELF is a buy point here for a starter. Not only did it go over here on expanding volume, look at that day. So we had this was the low volume day and a pullback, very little pullback here on the Fed day. But now it's also moving on expanding volume here, right?
Right.
So I think ELF is a buy point here for a starter up until we get over here.
And we've
Come.
got earnings coming up too. So
Yep. So that needs to be wary of that. So that can be a
yeah,
starter, and then it can build your cushion here for, because I think it's going to get to that 120 easily.
perfect.
Okay, and yeah, and if we look at the similar situation, look at the pullback here, 8-day line, 20-day line, these small volume, and then we get expansion of volume here with a bigger move. Yeah, I like it. Okay, and the crowd strike. Yeah, it's been a bit choppy here. It's a bit.
Yeah.
It's a good long-term company, but it's. Yeah, I think I want to, for the cleaner move, I think it needs to get above here. Otherwise, we're just going to be,
More chop.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, not much is happening here from, for the last 37 days. You don't want to. I think once we get above here, which may happen before the earnings, right?
Right.
But then, might be the cleaner move.
Okay.
Shop. Okay, let's look at Shopify. Yeah, Shop has not delivering consistent earnings per share growth. It's actually declining. And they do have a positive forecast. Don't know. Not convinced. They do have a growth in sales, but something's not right there. I will be watching for, and I did think they did release an interesting feature to the AI where you can literally build your AI can perform the entire analysis of your store and implement changes straight away. So I think that might be very interesting. I know what I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at Netflix. There we go. See Netflix here, bouncing off that 50-day line and trying to get above that green over red. A similar thing that we had happening for Palantir, right? Seeing that?
Yeah, it's looking good.
So pretty good. It only has to get to 460 from here to get that 1 to 2 risk reward. And I was watching it before the close. Okay, DraftKings, they reported. Well, like I said, we've been in DraftKings here for a while now, but it's looking excellent from the setup standpoint. And I've been banging on about DraftKings from here, like 18. So we've already doubled in price here. But this is now, look at how tight that consolidation here is. So definitely one to watch. So someone wanted me to look at Dash. Okay, yeah, the Dash is looking solid. RS96. Yeah, solid. Hey. Still buyable here. Dash. There we go on there. I think it's good. I like it. It's very respectful of that 8-day line. Any pullbacks to the 20-day line, that's a good buying opportunity. I mean, it's been on that move here. Let's look at it's a bit extended now. We got earnings on Tuesday as well, so. And on. Yeah, a lot of volatility here. I don't know. It's just a very deep pullback,
Yeah, it was.
almost into the 50-day line, and I'm just that would scare me because it's way deeper to any, to anything else that we've seen, right?
Right.
So for now, I'd be cautious.
All right.
But it kind of got bought up here, probably because they were, hit that 50-day line. But
Mm-hmm. We'll bounce on it.
from all the charts that we've seen, this is the worst in terms of the pullback, right, on Thursday.
Right. That's true.
Okay, semiconductors have been hot. So on here, yeah. I mean, on is on fire. There we go.
Whew.
And they also have earnings here. on Monday before market open. So yeah. Buy point here was 87. That was the buy point here. But yeah, tell you what, there's just too much happening in terms of earnings in next week, and I think to avoid unnecessary exposure, I think we need to be patient, right? I think we need to wait to see what's going to happen. There will be pullbacks created, but I think if we're going to approach this as like, oh my God, because you can see how many charts are looking good and primed to go, right? But I think we need to. Here's the thing, an interesting thing that I've heard about, that there is a little bit of inconsistency from the standpoint of what is happening in the market and with earnings and the future outlook, right? Because look, this is the history, right? Everything was just, well, maybe not this one in particular, but it was bad, right? And then suddenly all the projections or all the analysts, all the companies when reporting, they exceeding the expectations, right? But the way I think about it is this: if you've been not underperforming and then across the board analysts start to lower their expectations, then the bar gets lowered, right? So it becomes easier for companies to beat those expectations. But it doesn't change the fundamentals of the company because they still need to deliver the revenue, right? And the forecast of the revenue over the next 6, 12, 24 months is not, as expected or as it has been in terms of when you look back over the next 24, 48 months, into the past. So this raises the question, are these beats, of expectations from the analysts by the companies a true reflection of how they perform? I'm not so sure. That's why when we see even companies beating, stock is still falling because they don't report revenue expectations, especially for the future guidance, as expected based on the last 24, 48 months. Does that make sense? That's a bit of a rant here, but does that make sense of what I'm trying to say?
No, it does. Yeah,
So I think,
I agree.
I think this is what we're seeing across the board is, is the benchmark has been lowered to the point of where everyone's beating, but beating what? Beating the current consensus and expectations, not
Right.
the past performance 24 months, but in a real sense, they're actually performing worse, right? And that raises the question mark when it comes to, shareholders and investors for the long term. So
Well, basically saying that the bar's been lowered, and so anytime you have a good report, it is overreacted to
yeah,
in a
pretty
way.
much. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So we need some time to catch up to
Mm-hmm.
and to normalize. So that's why I'm saying let's not jump in on on
Right.
earnings just straight away, and let's wait a bit here. Car. Yeah, it's below 28-day line. Just coming here to 50. I don't like anything that's below those two averages here, so I need to see a bit move here to the upside. And on the financial side of things, Tony, car is 81, and it's Okay, there's two cups here building, and that can be it's cup and handle. But again, still need a bit more of that cup here building out. And on a weekly, we're just bouncing off the 8-day. So for now, I would stay out, stay out of car. Just need to, because it just look these. We got to these highs here, and it's rejected now 3 times, right? 1, see, 2.
Yeah, triple top.
Yep, exactly. So I'll leave it there for now. So it's PayPal. It's the last one I'm going to take, and then I'm going to break because I've been at it now for like 4 hours straight. I'm just okay. Yeah, well, PayPal. Look, just I think we are still in PayPal.
Oh yeah.
My thesis is still as it has been, and this is the same situation that I showed you for Amazon here, right? So we got this cap building. I think my projection is here to get to the 100 plus, but we just first time since here we trying to cross the 200-day line, which was acting as long-term resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So that's it for today, guys. It's been we focused more today on the company's reporting, but what we're trying to get is catch those bases and position ourselves in terms of maybe longer term or mid-term plays to see where we can go. But yeah. Thanks
Pretty
for
busy
tuning.
week.
Yeah, busy week, exactly. Thank you for tuning in, and then
Thank you.
have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Bye bye.